Okay, so I'm Ariana Terrazano, and I'm going to be doing your intake interview today.
I'm Jamie Rodriguez. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So basically, the session's going to last 20 to 30 minutes, and it's just going to be so I can get some general basic information about you. The reason why this is being recorded is for school purposes, so no one's going to be able to see this. Everything you tell me is for my ears only. The only thing I'm allowed to report is if you were talking about putting yourself or others in harm. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. So, how's your day going so far?
It's good. It was a busy day. I worked all day, and then I had classes until the afternoon, and then, relax for the rest of the day, and here I am in my session.
Nice. That's very good. So, I guess I'm just going to get some general information about you now. So, your name is Jamie. Jamie Rodriguez. So, I'm just going to be taking some notes too. So, if you see me writing, I'm just taking notes. On it. The notes are for my eyes only too, so no one's going to be able to see these. What is your race?
I am Hispanic. My nationality is Dominican. Both sides.
What is your occupation?
I am an infant toddler teacher, trying to become a preschool teacher as well, going into the field of early intervention.
You're going to school at Fisher College?
Yes.
Going to school for early intervention, you said, right?
Yeah.
When were you born?
June 29, 1997.
So you're a summer baby.
Yes.
What is your sexual orientation?
I am straight.
Are you currently seeing anybody? What is your relationship status?
I am a single person.
And your citizen status?
Citizenship. I'm a citizen of the United States.
So tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Well, I was raised by a single mom who had 3 other children. I was the youngest of 4. There's 3 girls and 1 boy. It was hard. We always had to share attention, and if I wasn't with my mom, my siblings were watching me, and it was more like a free-for-all growing up. Sometimes it was hard because my father was in a new relationship, and growing up, that transition was very hard for me. So I had basically like 2 homes, and it was just interesting. It shaped me into the person that I am today.
So you mentioned that your father wasn't in your life. Where was he?
Well, he was in my life up until I was 11. The week before I turned 12, he was arrested for selling drugs, and he was in prison for 5 years before he was deported to Dominican Republic.
So you said he was arrested for selling drugs.
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect you as, like, growing up? Like, at a young age, you were 11, you said. So, like, in ways, how did that, like, affect your childhood? Like, obviously you said that it was hard because your father wasn't there. So, like, could you...
It's just difficult because at that point, I was an older sister to 2 younger children that he had with his girlfriend, and it was just weird because at that point, I went back from having my dad and, like, his girlfriend and, like, that little family to, like, sharing one parent again, and then having my stepmom to be on my side growing up when he wasn't around. I had, like, a mothering relationship with her. Like, she was, like, my second mom, still is to this day. But it affected me in the ways that when she was in new relationships, they weren't good relationships. So when I used to see the guys that she was with, they were, like, involved in abusive relationships, and I had to be a strong person because I was always worried about my siblings getting hurt. And that was my biggest fear when I was younger. So I always had to, like, try to protect everyone and try to, like, I felt like I had to grow up at a very young age because I I felt like my stepmom was in love until she didn't see that what was going on was like as toxic as it was. But looking at it from like the outside in through 3 different relationships that nothing was ever progressing, it was just very scary. And now I feel like that's why I'm not in a relationship, because I just fear that the same things are going to happen to me that I witnessed.
So you think that since your stepmom was like abused, like in abusive relationships, you like think that it's affecting you now more than it was when you were a kid, because you like know that you don't want to like get yourself involved in that type of like situation?
I feel like before, when I was younger, it was never really about me. It was more of like protecting my younger siblings because they were my number one priority. And now I feel like if I do get into a relationship, whatever does happen to cause a situation like that, like all the anger is towards me. And it's like, I don't think that I personally, physically cannot protect myself against a man. And so I just feel like I fear that one day I'll put myself in a situation that I can't get myself out of. And I just would rather like not be involved in that at all.
So do you feel yourself like wanting to like be in a relationship though, like, and you took care of like your younger siblings? Do you feel yourself like wanting to like be a parent, like, and take care of your kids like the way that you like would help your brother and sister?
I mean, like, I want attention from a man, but I don't want like the title. I don't want to be the person you see every day. I just want like some attention, and I want a friend that I can have for myself that isn't like too exclusive until a certain point where I feel like I can be with that person. Do I want to be a mom? Maybe in the like far, far future, but I don't think that I could just have a child with someone that I don't really know that well. I feel like in order for me to have a baby with someone, it's like wanting to take care of a new world with another person, and I don't know if I can personally handle that with another person.
Yeah.
So it's just something that being a mom is not something that I think of unless like I already think of having a stable home and like my career. And I don't even think of a man when I think of being a mom. I just think of having like a stability to have kids, like so I can take care of them. Like not even for another person being there. It's just, I don't know, it's weird.
So like you do want to have kids like later on down the line. So right now you really don't really see yourself in a relationship at all. You'd rather just wait until you can find that person. Like, do you think that it'll take you like a while to find that person? Like, do you like, obviously like you seem like you want to like wait because you're in school now and like you want to figure out like yourself. When do you find your when like in your life do you see yourself like settling down at that point?
When I'm done with college and when I have a career. I feel like being in a relationship right now at this age with like work, internship, and school, it would be very overwhelming because right now I can barely handle having like the 3 things that I do have, let alone trying to have someone there to want your attention and like to take care of and to just need attention. I just feel like it's a distraction right now, and I would rather be in a relationship when I'm not so overwhelmed that it's going to cause a problem.
So you told me that you're going to school for like children. You're a teacher right now. Does like your childhood, like taking care of your brother and sister, does that like have any like influence on like you wanting to be a teacher and like helping children, like taking care of kids? Like,
I've been babysitting for as long as I can remember. So when I was younger, everyone always used to be like, "Oh yeah, you should babysit for me." So I was always babysitting. So at a very young age, I always said, like, I want to own my own daycare. And then when I was in high school, I got my certification to become a teacher. And then when I became a teacher, I came here and I started doing my practicum and stuff. And they introduced me to early intervention, which is working with children from, like, low-income places and children who are struggling with developmental, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not meeting their developmental stages, so they need someone there. And that person is there for them in their school time, and that person is there for them at home. So you get to help the child in both aspects. And I feel like that's just very helpful.
So you want to help children who, like, come from, like, kind of, like, I don't know how to word it, maybe, like, who aren't really like raised in like the typical like like mother and father together, like
Early intervention like varies, like it depends because if you work for an agency, it depends what kind of philosophy they have. So some places they'll just place you with like certain kids who like you can focus on one specific thing. Like you could be like a speech therapist, or you can like do things with like behaviors. So I know that I want to work with early intervention. I don't know exactly what it is that I want to do in that particular field, but I just know that there are some children who have struggles that are holding them behind now that won't really affect them if they get the extra help that they need at a young age. So I want to be that helpful person who makes sure that like no kid is left behind. Like you're meeting your stages, you're going to be a successful kid. Like that's what my hope is.
So you also like so back to let's just talk about how let's talk about your mom again. When you were raised, like you said, you were raised with 3 other siblings, a boy and 2 girls. How did that like affect you? Like, was there ever like favoritism between the siblings? Like, were you the favorite? Were your siblings the favorite? Like, did your mom ever like treat you guys differently? Especially like she was a single mom, so like she must have struggled a lot. Did she have any help either?
I mean, like my older sister like took on the role as like mom because my mom was always working, and so like that caused conflict because I feel like it was just all of us at such a young age, we weren't really understanding everything, and so that caused conflict between us. And I feel like because of the way that we all were when we were younger, it affected how we are now because we are not really like as close as most siblings are. So it's just not having one person, I don't know, it's just, we never really got to be kids together. Like, the age differences between all of us is, like, my oldest sister and I are 8 years apart. So, like, there's a lot of time there. And so, my oldest sister always did whatever she wanted to do. And then, like, my brother, he was the only boy. My mom mostly favored him because he was the only boy. But me and my sister that are closer in age, we've always been together because we always had to share everything since the beginning of time. So I feel like it was just stressful on all of us because we never really knew what to do. So I feel like it just caused a lot of conflict between all of us without it even being conflict. It's just the way that we all perceived it, and now it's just weird.
So what about your other 2 siblings? You talked about your step-siblings. I think you said that you helped like basically raise and like help your stepmom take care of. What how old are they? Like, they're younger than you?
Yeah. My little brother is going to be 14 this year. And my little sister will be 12. But yeah, ever since I could remember, I would spend summers over there just to be with them. I would spend every weekend over there, like, just to be with them. And it was more like because they would tell me that their mom wasn't really there for them the way that she should be. And so it would, like, frustrate me. So I felt like I had to be there for them. So they felt like they had someone who was an adult, like, watching over them. Mm-hmm. And they looked up to me. Well, they still look up to me. They're my little angel babies. They're just, like, the way that I look at them is completely different the way that I look at my older siblings, because with them, I was really young to remember our, like, childhood together. But when it did come to, like, my other siblings, we were more closer in age. Mm-hmm. And so it was just easier for us to, like, click. And so growing up, it was just the 3 of us against the world.
So you would say that you're more closer to, like, your siblings on your mom's side or your siblings on your dad's side?
Well, now, while I wouldn't cluster them, like, as my mom, like, now I wouldn't cluster them as, like, on my mom's side and my dad's side. I could say that I have like a pretty close relationship with most of my siblings. They vary in the different ways that we are all different in age, and like we all bond over different things. So there are just sometimes that like I'll see them and I'll be like, oh my god, yes, and then there are sometimes that it's just like I don't want to be with you right now, and it's just I don't know, but I would say that I'm close to most of them in all different ways.
Most of them. You have like a sibling that like maybe you like bash heads with, you don't really like get along with?
My oldest sister. I feel like she had a lot to deal with growing up because along with like her being the oldest, she was my mom's technical first love, they would say, because she was the firstborn. And then she went from being an only child for a while to having to share her mom with 3 other kids, and then not being able to grow up at a child's like mind, because you have to grow up and be a babysitter because your mom's always working. Like that, I feel like that had a lot to do with it. But right now, my conflict with her is that she looks down on us because of that. Like she's like, oh, I'm like your mom, and it's like, no, you're not like my mom. Like you're my sister. I get it, you took care of us, but you're not my mom. Don't make me or like try to act like I want to praise you. Like I get it, you were the one who took care of us when mom wasn't around, but you're not my mom, you're my sister, and I need you to understand that I'm never going to look at you as a mom. Like you're my sister, and it's just that thing she doesn't get because she thinks that she's a mom and like we're her children. So it's like she doesn't respect us on the same level, and because of the 8-year age difference, I can never have a conversation with her because of the fact that she's like, you're just a kid. And it's like, no, and you know that because you and I both have the mentality of growing up very early, like because of the things that we went through. So it's just frustrating.
So you would get frustrated with her.
Yeah.
So you go to Fisher College. What is that like for you?
It's a relief. It was one of the best decisions to dorm because right now I'm not focusing on everyone else like I used to. Before I used to have to like divide my school time and my home time with taking care of my nephews or taking care of my siblings or having to focus on other people. But right now I'm working and I'm focusing on my career, and I have an internship and I'm networking. In school right now is going so great because I'm accomplishing and learning so many things about my field that I never knew. And I don't have to like share my time with the things that I'm interested in and like the things that I'm obligated to do. So I feel like now I've had the time to find myself in ways that I never thought I could be able to do in my home. So I just feel like Fisher College has done a lot of things for me because I am becoming my own independent person, and I'm learning that I don't need to say yes to everybody just to please everyone. Like, it's okay for me to say, no, I don't want to do this because I'm tired, or no, I don't want to do this because I just don't want to. Before, I always felt like I was obligated to do something just because I was there, and now I don't have, like, that same feeling, and it's just a relief.
So, you like living at Fisher College. Do you like living in Boston, the city of Boston?
Yeah.
So, where do you see yourself, like, going once you graduate college?
I hope by then I'll be lead teacher certified this summer. So, hopefully I'll be working in my own classroom and working on just furthering my, like, by that time, I hope that I'm working in a classroom and transitioning into working with early intervention. So I just hope to keep putting my foot in the door and just learning more things in my field and meeting a lot of people who made an impact in my field. Like, that's one of my biggest goals. I've met so many amazing people, like my director for this program. She's done so many things in my field that I never thought I could be able to do. Most people think that in my field all you have to do is be a teacher, and that's not all you have to do. There's so many ways that you can teach kids without having to be in a classroom. And I just feel like I can't wait to open my horizons and see all the things that I can do with the experience that I have.
All right, Jamie. Well, thank you for sitting down, having this interview with me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.